Okay, so today I'm going to be answering all you guys' questions for a Q&A. I told you guys to leave them on one of my last videos and ask me anything you guys wanted to know about me or my school or just life in general. So I'm going to go through all the ones that were left on my video and I'm going to just answer them for you guys. So Flower Power asked, what do you like to do in your free time in NYC? There is many different answers for this question. But most of the time I'm honestly just in my dorm watching YouTube videos. But when I actually feel like going out, me and my friends like to go out to eat a lot. I also just like to go to really cute cafes. I love just being in like a cute atmosphere. It just makes me feel a lot more happy and relaxed. There's a lot of cute cafes like around FIT's campus, so I like to go to them either to do work or just sit there and get coffee. Also, me and my friends like to go to galleries a lot, and there are a lot right by FIT, so that's really convenient. Universu Mum asked, what kind of music do you listen to? Honestly, I literally just listen to like early 2000s hip-hop and pop hits, like the stuff that was on like the top 40. That's my favorite kind of music. Just to name a few, I'll go in my playlist and give you guys some examples. So like Akon, B.O.B., Bobby Valentino, Cassie, Chris Brown, Ciara, Fergie. You get the idea. Emily Baker asked, do you have any tips for living in New York? I think since New York is such like an eclectic place and there's so many different people and like just so much going on all the time, there's so many less rules about like how to live, and basically all I have to say is just always be yourself, because you can in New York and you won't feel totally out of place. You can literally leave the house looking like a maniac and no one will say anything. So just always be yourself, even though it's a kind of a general rule to no matter where you live. And also just walk fast, because people walk fast in New York and it's really annoying if you don't. Mary L asked, what/who inspired you to start YouTube? Well, honestly, it was never something I even considered until people around my town started telling me to make a YouTube, because I was posting like my makeup looks on my Instagram and on Twitter and everything, and people were just telling me that I should make a YouTube channel. And then it got in my mind and I was like, that might actually be a good idea, because I've always loved YouTube and I've always loved watching the people I look up to on YouTube. So I just decided to start one, and even though I'm the most introverted person, I just thought it'd be a fun way to like show my life to other people. And look at me now, instead of only doing makeup videos, I've transitioned to like also fashion and like lifestyle, which I didn't expect, but I'm happy it turned out that way. Connor H asks, how was your first semester at FIT? It was pretty good. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to. I've never been in college before this, so I'm just gonna say it was pretty good. I ended it with 3.17 GPA, which is not amazing, but it's enough for me, and I'm pretty satisfied. I really didn't have a lot of homework, or like it wasn't really a challenging semester, so I guess that's all that matters, to me at least. Giselle Vieira asked, what's a good foundation and concealer? Favorite lip product? My favorite foundation ever right now is the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Stick Foundation. I have it on right now. I have it on basically all the time. It's taken like the #1 spot in my foundation list just because the coverage does not compare to like any other thing I've tried. Even the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation, I tried it and I was so disappointed. It sucks compared to the Hourglass Foundation, so definitely Hourglass Foundation. As for concealer, I can't really give you a good answer right now because I'm in like a predicament, because I really was loving the new Tarte Shape Tape concealer until I realized it was creasing really badly under my eyes, and now it's not as amazing as it once was to me, but that coverage is really good. I have that on right now too, and I'm trying out different tricks to make it stop creasing so much, but I would say that for now. But if you already struggle with like creasing under your eyes, I would stay away from that. My favorite lip product, I honestly love the Smashbox matte liquid lipsticks, and I know they're never talked about, so it sounds kind of sketchy, but they're so underrated, and the only thing I don't really like about them is the applicator. It's in like a weird like teardrop sort of shape, and it kind of makes it hard to apply your lipstick like evenly, but the formula is honestly probably like the best one I've tried. Like it doesn't really feel dry or crusty, and it's so pigmented, so I highly recommend the Smashbox liquid lipsticks. Holly McKinstry asks, what job do you want to have when you're older? Honestly, it changes all the time and I don't even really know yet, just like most people don't really know, but realistically I think that I want to be a social media manager / director or whatever it's called for a company, like preferably like a makeup or fashion company. And what that means is like you basically are in charge of that company's social media. So I would be in charge of posting on their Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that, and that's what I'm best at, so I feel like that's a really good job choice for me. But in a dream world, I would have some sort of my own business, and I would be my own boss and have my own hours and all that jazz, because I really hate working for people. Tara Hogan asked, how did you like your first semester at FIT? What is the workload like? Well, I already answered how my first semester was, but I also kind of touched on the workload. But personally, I didn't feel like it was a lot of work. That might just be because I don't really get stressed out about school. I kind of just glide through it and like don't really give enough effort. I would say that definitely the workload is more for art students than it is for business students. I kind of just had a normal workload, like one like assignment per week in like the textbook or something, and it's really not hard. It's nothing that requires too much thinking. So Kimberly Paredes asked, what do you like the most about MIC and the worst? The thing I like the most about MIC is just that everything is there, and you just have to walk out your door and like be where you want to be. And every concert, every event, every pop-up shop, everything cool just automatically comes to New York because it's New York and everyone knows about it. So you never really miss out on things like you would if you were at home in like the suburbs. Also, I like that everyone minds their own business, and when you're in a crowd in New York, no one's really paying attention to you. And like for someone as introverted as myself, like I love that. The thing I like the least about MIC, probably that it's smelly. It's really ugly in some parts. It's pretty dirty, and basically just the typical things that you would hate about a city. Yasmina asked, what 3 words would you use to describe your experience at FIT? Also, how long are your typical holiday breaks? 3 words to describe my experience at FIT would be unique, inspiring, and motivating, even though it's kind of similar to inspiring. And I say that because when you see all these like cool people around you, all like kind of going for the same goal, and they're also like cool and just doing their thing, it kind of inspires you to do that even more. And also just like the fact that you're at a school that's like one out of only like a handful of its kind. It's definitely like a unique experience as compared to like a university that is pretty much the same as every other university in the world. My holiday break was actually 5 weeks long, which is like so long. That's like over a month, and I loved it. But my other breaks haven't been like super long. They've been kind of the same as everyone else, if not less. Like, I think we had like 2 days off for Thanksgiving, which like kind of sucked. But Salma M asked, how old are you and what are you studying? You're so pretty. Thank you. And I'm 18, turning 19 next month, and I'm studying advertising and marketing communications. Lydia Strong asked, is it easy to get into FIT if you're an overseas student? I think it's about the same as anyone. It's definitely not any more difficult, so don't worry. Janae G asked, what's your absolute favorite makeup product of all time? That's a really hard question, but honestly, like I might have to say the Hourglass Stick Foundation. Like nothing I ever tried I've loved as much as I love that. Might be a bold claim, but I really can't think of anything else right now. Casey Ockers asked, did you look into any other fashion schools in NYC? Also, what's your major? I also applied to LIM, which is basically the only other business fashion school in the city. I'm sure there are schools that have like a fashion business major, but LIM and FIT are the 2 main ones, I would say. I got accepted to LIM and everything, but overall I just thought FIT had a better reputation and just better opportunities, so I chose that. And also my major is AMC, which I said previously. Laura Cuevas asked, hi, I'm Mexican and I'm very interested in the ITM major. I was wondering if there's any Mexican students at FIT. There are students from everywhere at FIT. So I get a lot of questions about like international students at FIT, and you guys have to trust me when I say it's basically equivalent, like overseas students to American students. It's basically the same amount. Like there's so many international students here. So yes. Nicole Isola asked, was it a huge adjustment living in the heart of New York? Did you have any worries about the acclimation to college? Like I've said before, I didn't really have any worries going in because I already know a lot about New York and I don't live too far from it, so it wasn't like a huge adjustment, I would say. It was just a different environment, but in my opinion that was a good thing because I just personally don't like living in the suburbs, and it was a big change, but for me, I didn't have any trouble adjusting just because I know what the city is like already. LJSMO asked, do you have any pets? Sadly, I don't. I'm allergic to cats, and at home my dad is allergic to dogs. We've had like fish and hermit crabs over the years, but you know, they don't really count. Erin Diane XO asks, if someone is visiting New York for the first time, what is the restaurant you recommend they go to? There's so many, I don't even think I could pick. I think you definitely have to go to Black Tap. They have the coolest, biggest burgers and the most amazing milkshakes. If you guys haven't seen them all over Instagram, then you need to check them out. Also, there's lots of like really good vegan places in New York, like By Chloe I know is one, and I know there's like tons of other ones, but I'm blanking right now, so that was a really weak answer, but I'm just having a brain fart right now. If you go on my Instagram, I basically tag every restaurant I go to, so check that out for some suggestions. Heaven Kurtman asks, what was the biggest transition you went through from moving from a small town to NYC? Do you have any tips about what I can do in high school to help get into FIT? Well, I kind of just answered a similar question to this. The biggest transition was basically just the whole environment. It's just different, and for some people it's going to be like a huge change, but for me, like, it was pretty easy, so I didn't really have any trouble transitioning. Tips for high school students to get into FIT: definitely just get involved in whatever you possibly can. It doesn't even have to be fashion related, just as long as you're doing something other than just going to school every day. They like to see that you're, like, you know, a well-rounded student. I took pre-college classes at FIT, and I think that really helped me get in, and you guys can do that by looking on their website. I'll try to link it below if I remember. You have to register like a whole year or semester in advance or something. It doesn't count for credit, but it's a really good opportunity, and it helps you learn your way around the school, and it also looks really good on your application, so I highly recommend doing that. Universu Mum also asks, what are your favorite TV shows / series? Catfish, Big Brother, The Office, Stranger Things. I know there's more, but I can't think of them right now. I don't really watch TV that often. I'm more of a YouTube person. Avani Sarana asks, hi, I'm so scared and excited to come to FIT if I get in. Any tips or suggestions that you would give to freshman students? Honestly, I'm not like the best person to ask because I'm not like a very involved student here at college, but just be open-minded, and I would say definitely take the opportunities they give you. As a freshman, you have a really good opportunity to volunteer at New York Fashion Week, and that's like a really good experience. I didn't do it because I had plans that weekend. Stuff like that is always happening around FIT, just like opportunities, and I just would encourage you to take them. Holly McKinstry asked, what jobs can fashion majors get? Well, it really depends, and the website goes into detail about this. So if you guys go to the majors section of the FIT website, and then you go to Beyond Graduation, I think it's called, they literally lay it out for you, and they say like all the possible jobs you can get from graduating from that major. So I'll try to link that below too. Simply Amazing 17 asks, what was your GPA in high school? Were you good all 4 years, or did you mess up on any of the semesters? Oh, and what class was that you were talking in your video? She was referring to my storytime video. I was talking about statistics. Also, my GPA in high school, we didn't really do GPAs because my school was weird, but we did like out of 100, and I think my out of 100 GPA was like a 92, so it was like a high B. I was kind of an A and B student all throughout high school. There was no like time when I was worse or better, except for I think like sophomore year I had a really hard math class and I think I failed it, but look at me now, it didn't hold me back. So Emma Lynn asked, is FIT a great school to go for fashion design, or is it more well known for marketing and merchandising degrees? If so, are there any other good schools you can recommend, and if it's good, can you go into further detail? I don't know if there's like a proven difference, but I generally hear that like Parsons is better for fashion design and FIT is better for fashion business. That could just be a rumor, but I would assume that that's pretty accurate since Parsons is actually like an art school. So yeah, I would say FIT is more business oriented, but that's not to say that their design program is bad, because it's definitely not. Laura Catherine asked, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go? I don't know if you guys watch Vivian V on here, but I follow her on everything, and I just saw that she went to Bali, Indonesia, and I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, I really want to go here, but it's a 24-hour flight from the East Coast, and I just like, I don't know if I could ever do that. Like, that's really long, and I go stir crazy, and I'm claustrophobic, and I kind of hate planes. So I don't know, we'll have to see if I ever end up going there, but I'd love to go to Bali. There's so many places in Europe I want to go, and I also really want to go to Hawaii. Pierce Langford asks, what is your average class size? I don't know if he means class as in like my whole grade or just like my individual classes, but in each class I would say there's about a maximum of 30 people, at least for me. I don't have any lecture classes, so it's kind of just all like high school size classes. Reagan XO asked, ever had a terrible breakup? If so, tell us the story. What made you want to start YouTube? And loud music or soft music? I have never had a terrible breakup because I am still in the first like real relationship I ever had. So what made me want to start YouTube? I answered that earlier in the video. And loud music or soft music? It depends really. Most of the time I would honestly say soft music. I'm probably the only person in the world that would say that, but loud noises just bother me sometimes, and the only time I really like loud music is when I'm in control of it and it's not like annoying the heck out of me, or like when I'm in the car and I can blast my music. So yeah.